Stop.
Hello. Oh no, my image is messed up. It always does this.
No.
Oh no.
Only for Jason, though.
And now I hear myself elsewhere as well.
Yep, I muted it.
There, yeah, I muted mine.
I will fix that while
I
you
gotta
guys
cover the video.
chat.
It's gonna be distracting.
All right. How are things, guys?
Hello.
Lonely. Ha!
I feel like this is super unique because we have people in like totally different parts of the country.
Mm.
So like we've
That's
got
true.
West Coast, Texas, and East Coast. And Anna, you're in Colorado, right?
Yeah. So we've got
Ooh, I
like
didn't know
doing
that.
4 different time zones.
Mm.
Yeah, we're really representing demographics of the country right now. I'm proud of us.
Right?
Oh
There we
no.
go. All better. I had to fix my picture.
Oh, 5 people
Just
are
a-
watching.
Yeah, it's probably
Hi, 5
it's probably
people.
all us.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh.
Yeah, there's 4 watching now. We scared someone away.
I'm gonna keep doing background stuff, so y'all lead the conversation.
I'm trying to think of. So when we get comments, they'll be on YouTube, correct? And that's when
Yep.
we'll see them. Okay. I
Yeah.
see it on the right side.
Oh, okay.
It keeps jumping to 5.
Did you guys, was it somebody who posted, was it you guys who shared that OCRWC took away their qualifications? They're like literally anybody can sign up now.
Yeah.
Saw
Yes,
that.
I
For
saw
age group
that.
of journeyman. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's actually going to work though, because now, even though it's only supposed to last through May or June,
Right.
like the whole season's up in the air. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's,
Yeah, I've seen some mixed feelings on that. Like I've seen one person be like, I think I'll skip out and maybe just go next year. And then everybody's
Yeah.
like, well, why not? If you have the chance to go, why not just like still
Right.
go and compete? You can still compete age group, and there'll probably be more people in your
Mhm.
age group, but
That's true.
I guess like the
I think-
feeling of having
yeah.
qualified,
people are just wary, I think, of it even happening. Like,
hmm
because we don't know how long this thing's gonna last.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And,
think that
and like the long-term ramifications of everything, just don't know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And with Spartan canceling up until May 15th, like I'm sure other companies will start to be like, well, if that's what Spartan's doing, we should probably do the same.
Yeah.
Right.
We were supposed to have a OCR World Championships qualifying event this weekend. And so like that kind of, I mean, we get plenty of events, plenty of opportunities to qualify, but I'm sure that took away
You
a lot of
already
people's...
qualified.
I'm not talking about for myself, Caitlin.
Oh. Like we were supposed to go.
No, just like for people in New England. So yeah, it's going to affect a lot of people, but
Yeah.
it should be interesting.
Because it's in what? In August?
October.
It isn't until
Oh.
October, so the event should most likely definitely happen, but the qualification...
Oh, that's right. It is in October. Okay.
Because North American Championships was the same place, Stratton, but that was in August. So now that it's
Right.
October.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
Oh gosh, my animals are gonna go crazy now.
Right. It's funny though, yeah, everything is postponed. What's that running meme? It's like, 2019 is canceled or January is canceled. April is literally canceled.
Yeah, April is done.
April's
Nothing.
canceled.
April's
That's never
done.
makes so true.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's gonna last more like deeper than April. Like
Oh.
I don't think April rolls around and things are gonna go back to normal.
Yeah, because like we said, we have a friend that's deployed and
Georgia.
she's in Georgia now, like trying to quarantine, trying to deal with everything she can, and she's like, we haven't even hit the worst of it yet. So.
Well, Anna's a
No.
nurse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like the testing just hasn't caught up yet. So I mean, the numbers are definitely going to jump tremendously once everything catches up, and then the numbers are just going to get worse before it gets better, to be honest, unfortunately. But I mean, that just means that more people are getting access to the testing. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's so true because so last Tuesday I was hanging out with 2 friends because it was right before California went on lockdown and we didn't go anywhere. We were in my friend's apartment And we're like, okay, this is the last time we're really going to be able to hang out together. And then 2 days later, one of my friends got sick. Like,
Oh
we don't
no.
know if it's we
Yeah.
don't know if it's like coronavirus, but
Mm.
they had flu-like symptoms, and they went to the doctor. And so I'm like, okay, well now I'm worried.
Right.
And he got testing. He got tested for coronavirus, but A, the results are going to come back for 2 to 5 business days, and
Yeah.
B, he asked about, the me and my other friend that were there, and
Yeah.
the doctor was like, "Oh, if they're not sick, just, just life isn't like just keep going to work, you're fine, but if you're sick, stay
Yeah.
home." It's like, but what if half we're not showing symptoms? I'm just like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god."
Yeah.
Like, this is why it's spreading.
Yeah.
That's the scariest thing to me because I was working with, I work with a bunch of kids and they're always sneezing and coughing on me, and I don't think anything of it because I usually can fight that stuff off. Then when I heard of like this coming out, I'm like, yeah, I'm not working anymore, guys. And my
Yeah.
company just finally shut it down. So now we're going to be kind of working from home, not really, but I don't know, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely is crazy.
There's a bunch of people, including myself, that like were all wondering, like, did we already get it in early January? Because there was, I don't know about your areas, but there was like a wave of like a really bad flu
Yes.
in January. I got it. It was horrendous, and it
Yeah.
was basically all the symptoms.
Yeah.
It was like the chills and the body aches and the horrible cough, and
December.
mine was like the beginning of January. It was right at the turn of the new year. And I was sick for like 2 weeks. And a bunch of people, and we're all like, I can't find any information on the internet. And of course, even when you find information on the internet, you're like, you got to
Yeah.
take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, huh, maybe coronavirus is here earlier. It's
And that's a
weird.
big thing too, because like this coronavirus, COVID-19, it's called that because it was discovered in 2019. So
Mhm.
we just
Oh, is that why?
yeah.
I
Yep.
never knew that. Why is it COVID?
Anna.
Coronavirus.
I don't know.
Disease.
I don't know. I think it's just a
Corona
strain. I think it's a
virus
viral
is
strain.
the-
So, like, here's the tricky thing about viruses, though, right? Is that, like, every time it jumps from host to host, like, viruses mutate every single time they jump from host to host. So, unfortunately, I don't know if, like, a vaccine is going to be really the answer to it, because think about the flu. That's viral, and there's not really a effective vaccine out there for it either. So unfortunately, yeah, like the elderly and all the immunocompromised people, they're going to have to watch who they're exposed to and everything, just like with the flu and just like with any other illness, unfortunately. It's just one of those things, like maybe you might have to just let it run its course, and maybe there's like this medication that will hopefully relieve the symptoms a little quicker and help you get over the illness a little quicker, but we'll just have to see what they come up with.
Mm.
I think another tricky thing is too, like there's all this fake information on the internet, but also on TV too. Like I've been seeing people saying, I think it was like, I'm not gonna say the news station, but they were saying how they used the malaria vaccine to cure with 100% success. 100%
Yeah.
is never the case in anything medically science
Yeah.
ever. But they said it cures at 100%. And they're like, oh, we should be doing this everywhere. And then I haven't heard anything about it since. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes no information is better than fake information.
Absolutely.
Because it's
Yeah.
all false hope and stuff. And I think that's the last people need. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, and then that's part of the problem too, is that all this information is so easily accessible to everybody. And
Yeah.
it's just fueling the panic and fueling the fear that, like, I kind of appreciate some of the news anchors out there that are like, step away from the TV,
Yeah.
right?
step away from the news channels, give yourself a break. It's just gonna make your anxiety worse. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true.
yeah.
Now has never been a better time to really focus on your training plan.
Exactly.
Right? That's what I'm
Just
saying.
saying.
For all those home gym workouts.
Gets you outside. Yeah, like I have a wilderness preserve across the street from my apartment, and even though there were actually a surprising amount of people, but we're like walking and hiking and running there yesterday. But it's big enough to where it was like we were spread out. But it's nice. It's like even though I don't have a home gym I can use, my apartment's kind of small. I can just go across the street and just work out outside.
Yeah.
I just dragged all my equipment over there and just did it over there.
Nice.
I like saw a meme. It was like day 1 of self-isolation. I'm gonna really work on my fitness. Day 7, I ate a lasagna crying in the shower today. Like, I can relate to that. We're not even really quarantined yet,
I
but
know.
rumor is Massachusetts is shutting down on Monday.
I heard
Yeah.
about that. I heard Baltimore activated the National Guard or something.
I believe it.
Where?
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Oh, I heard the governor or mayor of Baltimore was like, guys, like, we really need you to stop like shooting each other because we need the hospitals for the coronavirus and not for.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Wow.
They just have such a high like crime rate that they're like, seriously, stop like
Stop.
Shooting people.
It's beautiful though. Baltimore is a beautiful city. Just
That's good
dangerous.
recovery. Good recovery. Yeah, we're locked down, but it's a shelter in place order, so we can. It's not like a mandatory stay in your homes. Like we
Okay.
can go to necessities, so we can go to like groceries or banks or government services, but basically, literally any other business is closed. And so
Yep.
restaurants are closed, retail shops are closed, any kind of service that other than like necessities. Hardware
Mhm.
stores are open because they're considered a necessity, but yeah, everything else is closed. So it's like they're kind of like, even though we don't have to like literally stay in our homes 24/7, there's really nowhere else to go. So
Yeah.
Are your restaurants
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to do delivery or pickup?
yeah, and pretty much all of them are, which is
That's good.
yeah.
Stupid question. Are you still able to go for a run outside? How does that work?
Yes. Yeah. And actually, a lot of people, when Gavin Newsom made the announcement, the governor of California, when he announced that, it's the shelter in place order, a lot of people were like, oh my God, shelter in place. We're all quarantined to our homes. They missed the part where he was like, no, you should still like go outside for a walk or walk your dog or go for a run,
Yeah.
like, or else you're going to go crazy.
Yeah.
So you
So
can still go
I'm
outside, but like, you do want to do the social distancing. Like you want to stay at least 6 feet away from people.
We have not been doing that.
No.
We're like 6 inches away from each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already together, it's like,
Yeah.
That's
And-
true.
Y'all are just creating like a herd immunity.
yeah.
Exactly.
So Heather, I'm assuming the rumors that like we've heard that people are getting like tickets for like leaving their homes, is that false?
I think that's pretty false.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I assumed, but like I heard on, I don't know if it was like Twitter or online that like people are like,
I think they're
come-
doing that in Europe though. I think
Oh,
they're
That
doing
would make sense in
yeah,
Europe,
they're doing
especially,
that
like,
in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere like Italy, I
Mhm.
think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen.
So one of my
yeah.
one of
Go
my
ahead.
coworkers, her sister lives in France, and she said usually, like the Louvre is like packed with people, and it's just like a ghost town right now. It's so odd, but like there's benches and stuff around the museum, and if you sit on the bench for too long, like a police officer will come up to you and give you a ticket
Oh my
because
gosh.
you're not supposed to like sit
What
on the
does
bench.
that ticket
You're supposed to
say?
be at home. I have no clue.
I mean, I haven't left my apartment complex since what's today, Saturday, since Tuesday. So like, I have seen people outside because like there's lots of people in my apartment complex that own dogs, and so I mean we're walking our dogs, but and there were lots of people, like I said, working out at the Wilderness Preserve yesterday, so we're allowed to be outside. Like that's fine. Just like practice social distancing, stay apart from each other, and be smart about it, I guess. Because the national parks are actually, I saw one of the national parks on Instagram yesterday. They said they're free. National parks
Yeah.
are free right now.
National
Because
parks
they're
are
like-
free except Rocky
Makes
Mountain
sense.
National Park. They just closed it
Oh,
because
bummer.
it's in the part of Colorado that's like I guess the heaviest amount of cases, and just to limit the amount of visitors that are coming through Estes Park.
So
They
was it
decided
open
to close
already?
it.
Because even with the snow, like that time of year, it's still
Yeah.
open, even to go all the way.
Yeah. The only
through,
reason-
or-
yeah, the trailheads and all the open spaces and everything, like they mainly stay open. The only reason they close them down is like whenever it starts getting muddy and there's too many people on the trails, like ruining the
Well,
surrounding.
What about the drive all the way through, like to actually take the pass all the way over? Is that still open?
I think it's closed. Like all the entrances
Well, like
are closed.
if
Like they're not.
if the
blurred.
park was open
Oh.
itself, was that already
Oh.
was that closed or? Because usually when
don't
it
think
snows all the way to the top, they close it because you can't drive all the way over.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have chain and traction laws. So you either have to have a 4x4 or you have to have chains on your car or you have to have some kind of snow tires to go up there. Otherwise, it's like a $500 ticket.
Oh my gosh.
Just to put things in perspective, how much snow have you guys been getting?
Well, actually none up until like yesterday. We got like 8 inches of snow.
Oh my gosh.
Like all of a sudden it was like it was melting and it was all opening up and everything and everybody was getting outside and then all of a sudden on Thursday this like blizzard came through and we got like 8 inches here in the foothills and they got like I don't know, 1.5 feet up in the mountains.
Yeah.
You
Just
know, the
overnight.
skiers and snowboarders were dying inside.
I
right now.
know, they're like, oh,
Fresh snow we can't touch.
and they just closed down all the resorts.
It's
Oh.
so sad.
Barely
Yeah.
got any snow in
We
New
didn't
England
really
this
get
year.
any snow this year.
No,
It's very bizarre.
Yeah, it was
We actually, California got a surprising amount.
really.
But then again, we had another wet winter. So, I mean, in the mountains, obviously, not in the on the coast. But yeah, in the mountains, we got a fair bit of snow.
Huh.
We got maybe a total of like 6 inches and not all at once.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, wasn't much.
Wow.
We actually got snow in Joshua Tree this year,
Oh,
a couple times.
Isn't
That's
that like
interesting.
mostly a desert area, desert-ish?
Mm-hmm.
oh.
Yeah, there was snow in Joshua Tree January 1st. I
Oh.
wasn't there, but a bunch of people I knew went.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to go climb in Joshua Tree, but like I'm a little afraid that all of the climbers will have the same idea. Like,
Right.
we're all quarantined, let's all go. Like, it is a huge park, but there's certain bouldering areas that are more popular in the park than others. And so they're usually like you can easily run into like 3 or 4 groups of boulders at one spot. So it's like you can go climb outside, but you have to pick the most remote spot.
Oh gosh.
Don't bring more than 4 other people.
Yeah.
me and my crash pad, and don't climb anything too high.
Jason, how are things in Texas?
The temperature has actually been. We've actually had an odd stint of a lot of rain, and it's kind of funny. The very first day that they kind of started shutting stuff down around here, like schools are closed and all that. That next week was just black and dark and rainy the entire day, and it's like all these people talking about the end of the world stuff going on, earthquakes and stuff. It's like, well, it's kind of it's fitting, but it has let up some, and we've had pretty good temperatures and actually had good weather for getting outside. Even with the rain, it's stopped enough to still get outside. I think the mini blizzard that you talked about, Anna, the other day is starting to come this way. Not the blizzard itself, but the cold temperatures. It's finally starting to get a little cooler. Yesterday was kind of cold and windy, but before that, I mean, like y'all are talking about, like getting out and running and doing stuff. We're seeing just tons of people. Yeah. And even April was noticing that, people that you normally kind of like scoff at you while you're running around or whatever, everybody is out and everybody's waving and smiling and, keeping distance, but still being very, very friendly, which is pretty cool.
That's so funny that you had that same weather system like the week that everything was shutting down.
It was weird,
too.
Yeah.
Which for Orange County, it's normally really sunny all the time around this time of year, and it was like super dark and cold and stormy and rainy, like really heavy rain, and we're all like, "What is going on?" It was scary. But Caitlin, what were you gonna say?
Kim.
Hey.
Hello.
Morning.
Oh, Kim's in?
I was just gonna say, we live in like a pretty like remote street. There's not a lot of foot traffic. So yesterday I like ran out. I was like business on the top and pajamas on the bottom because I had a Skype work call. So like I'm just gonna run out and get the mail. And like 3 people walked by. I'm like, hi guys, like nice to meet you. Like I know we just moved in October.
Oh yeah, I've been dressed in quarantine chic for the past 3 days. So
Nice.
it's pretty great. Hi Kim.
Hi
Good
Kim.
morning.
How's it going?
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Fine. I actually have a sore throat and a cough.
Oh no.
Oh no.
It's okay.
As long as you don't have,
Yeah.
Huh?
I had like everything else but the fever, and like I think it's like the fever
Yeah.
shows itself in like 85% of cases, so you're most likely good. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm not even thinking that I have that, so it's not.
Sorry, I'm trying to get.
But you're quarantining, right?
Oh, wow.
No, I'm still working. My area is quarantined, but my job is essential. So
Oh, what do you do?
I work at a court.
Oh, yep. See, government job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
My dad said the same thing. So my family is from Washington, and my dad is the financial manager for the city of Kirkland in Washington, which Kirkland, all the news keeps calling it the epicenter of the coronavirus in Washington. And I'm like, Dad, please don't go to work. Please just stay home, because he's
yeah.
I don't know 59, and he's like my job's essential, and I'm like. "Ah!" And I was like, Dad, can't you just work from home? And he goes, I have employees that can't, so I gotta go. I was like,
Yeah. That's the way of it.
yeah, well, government.
That's crazy. Yeah, my mom picked a perfect time to retire. Finally, at the age of 70. She's finally retired.
Wow.
I give her a year. She's gonna go back to work in a year.
Go back.
Well, that's how your grandfather was. He finally retired and then stayed home for what? Not that long. And then now he substitute teaches in the high school and he loves it and works like every single
It's
day.
basically full time because those teachers are always canceling. So
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give her a year and then they're gonna just like call her back and be like, "We need you."
now let's talk about, like the expected impact of all of this, like the smaller races. Like what do we think is going to happen? Like Spartan's going to be fine. Tough Mudder is now part of Spartan. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about like the Savage races, the CTGs, the smaller races of the country?
I think they're definitely going to be depending on the community to continue supporting them, like continue to like be signing up for races, even though, there is this uncertainty right now, but even just signing up for races later on in the year or signing up for races next year or going to their websites and buying merchandise. I mean, that's what I've definitely been trying to do because, online shopping. What else are you going to do?
As long as they can promise as long as they can promise like a rescheduled date, it doesn't even have to be a specific date, but like, hey, this race is still happening.
Right.
I think they'll survive because as long as people don't pull their money out, you know what I mean, and ask for a refund,
Yeah.
they're going to take a hit from not getting an income for, a few months. But I think they'll be able to weather the storm as long as the OCR community sticks with them, which we all know the OCR community, they're really tight-knit, like everybody supports each other. So I think they'll be able to, it's going to be difficult, and there are probably going to be a lot of layoffs, which sucks, but like, I think they'll be able to, the companies themselves will probably be able to weather the storm.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are adapting to and kind of doing virtual races too, which I think is interesting because
Oh,
they
yeah.
continue to get money and give people the medals that they want.
Saw that like Spartan's doing a virtual
How do you
race.
guys feel about
Yeah.
virtual races? Like, is that something that you partake in, or do you steer clear of them?
Mike and I are actually gonna sign up for a virtual race. The half marathon I ran last year, we just like loved the race director and like everything he stood for, and he just like canceled all the events but did a virtual 5K. So we're like, might as well sign up, like give him some support.
I thought you were talking about the other one, the chart up on our arms.
Oh no.
Okay,
But
so
overall,
outside of this odd situation, how do you feel about them? Is it something you've ever done before?
we used to do them back in like 2012, 2013.
Back in the day.
Yeah, for like the medals, it's called like willrunfor.com or something cool like that. We got lots of cool medals, but I'm not really into it anymore, I
And
guess.
we're so lucky because we live in such a running community. Like the New England area.
Yeah, you guys have tons of races out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on it?
I have never been a huge fan. I mean, now, sure, if it supports race companies, I'm in. But before, it's like the whole reason I like to race is because I like to run with other people and like have the community there and have people, at the finish line, kind of chatting with people after it's done. Like the whole reason I do races is for the community. And then anything else, when I'm running by myself, it just feels like a training run. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is
I
I've
like
never
them.
tried it before, and it makes me wonder: would I do that as well, or would just because I know that it's a virtual race that make a difference in it? I've gone to like a trail race or anything local and gone and literally talked to nobody, but still the fact that people are out there running with me and next
Yeah.
to me and passing me, that makes a huge difference. So I don't know
Yeah.
how I don't know if it would interest me, but I mean, maybe now's the time to give it a shot just to see how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked early on when they first started announcing virtual races, they were almost always for like a charity.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You get a medal and a t-shirt, and that was cool. But I see an influx now of them of just getting a cool t-shirt and a medal. And I was like, well, that doesn't really make sense because that's not a race. You're just
Yeah.
Yeah.
that part. But
It's not a business.
for an OCR type virtual race, I don't know about that either.
Well, yeah. For one, if it does bring them cash flow in this time, then that is helpful. If this is over and they try to turn it into a cash flow thing after the fact, that would be a little silly to me. To me, it seems like you said,
Yeah.
like for charity, that makes sense. In this moment, it makes sense. But in general,
Yes.
if you're trying to do it as a business, other than like you're saying, run. What was the website called that y'all used to use?
Like Will Run
Will
for
Run for
Bling or
Bling.
something like
Or
that.
for medals or
That
something.
business makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you're saying it in the name of your business, what
Yeah.
you're doing, so I understand. But otherwise, it just seems like a cheap. Like how much are they charging for basically just to ship you something? But at the same time, you
Yeah.
are getting
Yeah.
something out of. I mean, you are going out and doing the run yourself. So I don't know. It's kind of a toss up for me, to be honest.
I mean, I think if you're a goal-directed person and you need that goal to, I guess, push you out there to do it, I mean, more power to you. But definitely signing up for a lot more virtual races now. I think I've signed up for like 2 or 3 in the last week.
Anna's all about it.
Yeah. Well, no, they're all for charity. like Tim said, when Sean Valagura came out with the Operation Valor thing and he posted it in the Lone Star Spartans, and like 100% of the proceeds, goes to his charity. I mean, it's $25, for a 5K. So why not? But yeah, I think it's definitely making people put their money where their mouth is, and showing support for their race director friends that are kind of in this weird position now that everything's kind of put on hold.
A big thing for me was that, like, early days of OCR, people were really irritated that everyone got a medal. But what I saw a medal as was like a physical manifestation of like all the memories that you had in getting that medal. I mean, that's why I had
Yeah.
Spartan Race back when I did Spartan Races. Like,
Yeah.
they would all have like eye tabs, so I would know like which one was which. And just looking at all of them, like I can look at one and tell you like a big story about it. Whereas virtual runs, you don't get that,
Right.
Like, oh, I just did this on the track, like. So there's that. But I do agree that it's a good way to support like the local businesses, especially
Absolutely.
give them the
Yeah.
money that they need. And I think another big group that this is going to impact are all the like the gyms out there, like the
Oh,
OCR
for sure.
gyms. I'm sure the
Yeah.
big gyms are fine.
Oh
But I'm
yeah.
thinking about like Jesse Bruce. I have a quote from him about what's going on with
One Academy.
One Academy, and just like people rallying together, because if not, like they're not. I don't know. They're probably not going to last. So it's kind of scary. All these places that are built up from the community, and now they're not able to do their thing.
This is really the time when the community is going to be like challenged to be like,
Mhm.
you say that everybody supports each other, so you got to show it. Like,
Right.
this is the time when these businesses are really relying on the community to help them through.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my gym, it's not an OCR gym, but it's a smaller gym. and they sent out an email, and they were like, "Hey, so we are, we have to close. We ask that you guys don't cancel your memberships. We're sorry. Like, if you can afford it, please maintain your membership. And when we open back up, we'll do some members only events. We'll have members only hours." And I feel like, similar smaller OCR gyms and OCR businesses are kind of the same way. It's like, please, like, don't cancel stuff. If you can afford it, like, try and stick with us through here. It's really a time for the community, if they can, to kind of like step up, and it's gonna really rest on the community's shoulders these next few months to kind of carry these businesses through.
I do appreciate seeing what different businesses are doing to make it up to their customers. I know HEB is a grocery store down here in Texas that Texans, I'm not a local Texan, I'm not from Texas, Texans love HEB, and some of the things that they've been doing, one, I feel like maybe they've created a new delivery service just for elderly people. So they're still open like normal, but they're also providing this free delivery service for elderly. And there was one more thing they did. Something. Oh, they're raising their employees' pay by $2 an hour until like for 2 months or something like that. Something to say, those that are still coming into work, here's how much we appreciate you. I mean, it's just little things that, while it plays a huge role in how that person feels, the employees feel about the company, but just the community in general and how everybody perceives their business. So tons of businesses have been trying to do stuff like this to either, one, just capitalize on the situation and make more money, or two, do something to raise their awareness and make them look good in the eyes of the community, so that when we come out of this, people will remember that and say, that's the company that I want to do business with. And then, of course, some companies are doing a little bit of both at the same time, which is very understandable. Of course, the ones that are only trying to make money out off of this, like gouging prices on certain things, that's completely ridiculous. So they can
Whole Foods
get COVID and die.
Oh, is Whole Foods doing that?
Whole Foods CEO about a week ago was like, hey, if you work for Whole Foods and you have extra sick or vacation time, like, we want you to donate it to your coworkers, so if they're out with like COVID-19, they can still get paid.
Instead of just the company paying them?
The opposite side. Trader Joe's, which I heard.
Trader Joe's, yeah.
Oh
my God.
Opposite. I'm like, Whole Foods, or are we gonna take the trip to Trader Joe's? Like, we're gonna go where they're like supporting their employees and like doing the right thing, and not just being like money hungry.
Definitely take a look around in your community, and like, safety doesn't have to be the number one priority, but at the same time, see which companies give a shit and which ones don't, and remember that it clears up. Remember those names.
In the grocery stores, everybody is probably raking in as much money as they can because their shelves are being empty.
Yeah.
Get a hold of that dog.
That's what's going to be really interesting, is once this all is over, how is our society going to be reshaped? Because it's like, there have been so many major changes in just this week and a half. It's like, what's going to last? And because I don't think we're ever going to go back. This is like too big to go back 100% to normal.
Absolutely.
And so I wonder what's going to change. And, and like you said, Mike, like, we're really seeing the true nature of certain businesses right now. So it's like, who's going to survive this and who's not?
Yeah.
But I also think it's hard because like so many people are off of, like, what was that word?
Furlough?
Like, so many people of our friends are in like furlough that we're like, we can't support those local businesses because we're not getting the money, and like we can't turn around and be like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna shop at like the more expensive grocery store because we're not getting paid.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how, even after people are back to being fully employed, like what companies will stand.
Real quick, is someone typing? I'm hearing like.
No, it's
Jason's
Kim's audio.
Uh-oh.
Cam,
Oh.
Cam, we're gonna get you.
Why is it
I'm gonna
always
get you
me?
a mic, and I'm gonna do it in a minute here. I'm gonna order it online and send it to you because
Yeah, we love you, Kim, but your audio is terrible.
Make
Sound
sure
like-
you expense it to Will.
Sounds like you're recording with the
Expense
toothbrush.
at the wheel.
It backs right off.
I gotta get that great setup going.
You're using a Mac?
Good grief.
No,
I don't
no,
know.
you are
No,
on
it's
a
an
PC,
HD.
but you have
Yeah.
earbuds.
Yeah.
But they still work. Is it just Bluetooth? Earbuds use Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I could hook it to anything with Bluetooth.
I'm gonna get you a mic and probably just some regular earbuds, so that you can let your husband use his AirPods.
AirPods. Computer.
I can't see your computer. I'm not gonna do it.
You draw the line. Oh
You
man.
should order headphones, Michael.
Yeah.
Use.
Well, there's nothing wrong with. Oh, look at all the kids outside. We have this, which is really old. It's broken, but it works because it's on my head.
And then
Caleb-
I get to hold
Hold
this
on, it's
up.
blurry. 'Cause- It works. It worked.
I'm holding a
The funny thing is that
virtual
Mark
run
is using.
for, and it's a charity for Kim's mic. If you run tomorrow, the number of miles you run will
How much you have to Venmo
become
Jason.
$1. I don't know. $1 that I spent on her mic.
I'm ready for
Not
it.
everybody, not the whole community, because this might turn into something crazy. Kimmy's gonna have the best night
That's had to go for a run.
out of all you guys, and I'm running tomorrow too, so it'll be partly my miles.
I'm running later on today,
Probably
probably after
running.
fall.
I don't know.
So the OCR reports,
I've been running.
the OCR reports cumulative mileage tomorrow is the amount of money I will
All
spend.
I don't have anything planned.
Well, better get to it because now you got a virtual run to encourage you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no medal and
What is going
T-shirt.
on with your image? Your image has gotten real small. Oh, I think she DC'd.
Who mine?
You're still there. Yeah, what's going
Yep.
on?
Oh, yeah.
That is weird.
I'm doing a
Oh, you know
tire
what?
drag run today.
I-
I'm gonna have a bunch of people stare at me.
Oh,
Be
dear.
weird.
I need to grab my charging cable actually.
It's so cool when he like refreshes it.
Mhm.
What?
I'm gonna turn my video off for a second because I need to.
Wait, not yet. I gotta fix it. Hang on.
Oh, well, you can deal with my blurred
No.
background then.
What is it doing? So that's one place that Skype is somewhat lacking.
The blurred background.
No. The blurred background's cool. I like that.
I actually like that quite
Yeah.
a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for whatever reason. All right, so a little tech talk here. Not tech corner. We don't have corners. We have talks. 'Cause it's
Yeah,
not
we're-
tech talk.
We have rooms.
I mean, it was,
We have rooms.
Tech Talk sounds too much like TED Talk, and that's trademarked. So.
I didn't say TED.
Let's not get.
And now you got big again. What? Anna, you need to stop that. Anna's drinking.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm just plugging in my
Anna's
computer.
drinking some Alice in Wonderland potions. So no, that is one of the things. Skype has the ability to bring in the video sources, each individual video source. So as you see it on the YouTube stream, each individual video source into one, into their own channel, and then I can put those wherever I want on the screen. But for whatever reason, the resizing of them, sometimes they get crazy. Like Anna's got small for a second there, and then I have to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
why that is, and it's doing it again. I don't know what Anna's doing to make that.
I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing anything.
Oh, she busted out of her. She busted out of her frame again.
Yep. That's so weird. So that's another thing that I need to figure out.
Jason's tech
Try
corner.
just-
Yeah. I say the words, the letters NDI. It's a format for video. Dang it, yours is going crazy, Anna. I don't know.
Yeah, it's getting bigger.
Oh, the whole right side now.
It's just your shoulder now, Anna.
Oh my gosh.
That's so weird.
Had a great shot. Had a great shot of your fridge,
There
though.
we go.
My fridge is really messy with kids stuff all over it. Whatever they want to put up there.
There you go. It's fixed. There you go. It's fixed.
Anyways, how funny is it how many people have done live shows now too? As we're trying to get this going in the first place, and now because of this and everybody's home, Spartans got they actually had Matt and Josh on for a minute. Then they had that same night they had Kevin Donahue, and who was the other one?
I think Corinna.
No.
Too, right?
Shoot, Australian guy,
Australian.
Spartan head of whatever.
David Watson.
So they had a
Okay.
show together, and then they did a second show the next day, and actually had Lindsay Webster on as well. And so they've done their live shows, and it just seems like lots of people have been putting out live shows just because everybody's just sitting around, I guess, looking
Back
to
at home.
provide content while everybody else is sitting at home too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's cool.
Yeah, I think that's better enough to the ambassadors that they're gonna give activities to people, like challenges. So watch for those.
That was another live show. That was Kyle and Sean.
Oh,
Sean
yeah.
Fulton.
I did watch that.
That's right. Yeah, I missed that one.
They're gonna be doing that more often, I think.
Favorite race.
Yeah, most of these I'm missing. I'm just trying to stay off social media. But
Same.
kind of hard.
Same.
Kind of hard
Me
sometimes.
too.
Whenever you get like sucked into Mark or Evans memes. Yeah. So what's everybody's plan for today, guys?
I don't even know. I can't. I refuse to incriminate myself.
About what?
I've got.
Don't incriminate you.
No, you don't know what the plan is related to that.
Today is a relaxing day. Tomorrow will be running and yard work.
Ooh.
I've got my first ever tire drag run today. I have to figure out where I'm going to do it and not seem like an insane person.
You train with Yancey Camp, right?
I had Yancey Camp, and I canceled it just because, I'm switching because I'm like an average American. I can't afford multiple training programs. I just hired Dennis Wayne Welch as a running coach.
That's
And
what I'm gonna guess
so
that. You said tire drag, yeah.
Yeah, so I just joined his program. So I'm literally just starting it now. So woo!
I've heard great things. He gets results.
That's
Definitely.
and he gets results with female endurance athletes, which is exactly what I want to focus on. So like that's where I'm going. That's literally my only plan.
Oh, so say that again. He gets results with female endurance athletes?
With female endurance athletes. Yeah.
So that's a very
he's got
that's a very specific
Aaron
thing.
Ross is yeah.
I want to bring up something very specific, a very specific training situation that I just had. Being an endurance athlete, I focus mostly on running, and this year I've been doing almost nothing but rock climbing and like a little bit of pull-ups and stuff to kind of supplement that. But I haven't done just normal workout of like lifting weights or push-ups or that kind of stuff. Yesterday I did a workout. It was only 15 minutes, but it was like a HIIT workout. So it was, just one after the other, 3 rounds of 6 exercises. And afterwards, I felt kind of like I was good, I was out of breath, but then I got very weak and tired. Like my whole body was just like, I'm not used to this. What are you doing? Have y'all ever experienced that? I mean, I know I've got my own issues with like the blood issues I've had and all that stuff, but I've had that happen a long time ago before I started working out too, like doing an exercise kind of for the first time, and it just whipped the tar out of me and got to where I was like kind of lightheaded and stuff beforehand. Anybody else ever experienced such?
Yes.
We don't do
Yes.
we don't do
Javier.
nearly enough. We don't do high intensity. We should.
Javier sends in this like 5-minute warm-up video that I do on Mondays, and like that's how I start the workout, and I just kind of like lay on the floor for a little bit because I'm just exhausted. Like,
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Usually, I mean, that's what high intensity really does to you, especially if you don't do it a lot, and if you're just starting, your body is like, what is this? Why did you just make me redline for however long?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
your body's like, ugh. Like, I have not been training very well this year so far, and so just my workout yesterday, it was an hour long hit interval workout. My legs were sore. I was really tired
An
after.
hour long hit.
But like,
Jeez.
well, it wasn't like it was only like 4 things. It was a half mile, 800-meter run, and dumbbell snatches, walking lunges, and burpee broad jumps. And just doing that as many rounds as you could in an hour. And even like that, my body was just like exhausted. I was like exhausted through the workout. I was exhausted after. But like anything, if you actually like focus on it and do it repetitively, your body's gonna build up that endurance. Because back when I was really training consistently, I would do those. And actually, I would feel tired during the workout. 30 minutes later, I'd be like, I'd be like super energized for the day. So it's just a matter of doing it more, and your body will get used to
Yeah,
it.
and that's what I've experienced as well. It was just funny because I hadn't done that kind of workout in quite some time. And that's why I like endurance sports, because you don't have to do that kind of stuff at all.
I think that's right.
Yeah, so whenever before my gym shut down and my trainer we were working on like DecaFit specific stuff. She was like, "You're gonna have to get way out of your comfort zone because like all my runs and everything been like staying pretty low heart rate and pretty, the whole 80-20 rule and everything." But whenever she started training me and like having me do bricks on the air bike and then going straight to the woodway, and I'm like, I hate this so much. But yeah, she started like sprinkling in stuff like at the very end of my workout where I'm already like really tired because my heart rate has been up so high. And she's like, this is the time where you know what this feels like, and like you have to put in that extra push to like get you across the finish line.
I'm like, Tony Sullivan says, just let it hurt. Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Embrace the suck.
Yeah.
I think that's
That's what everyone thinks.
You know what's funny about getting more fit too is that when you eat crappy food before a workout, you instantly feel it during that workout. You're just like, oh, I should not have eaten that. I had like my comfort food are these like spicy ramen noodles, and like I was really stressed out with everything going on, so I ate it like 2 hours before my workout. Then I had heartburn the whole workout. Like, I was like, this is the worst. Like I love getting fit, man. Say goodbye to your comfort foods at least before a workout.
Mike anything like he ate Chipotle before we did a stadium sprint once, and he had 0 side effects. He was fine.
Like that was kind of our tradition, because like Fenway's right near Chipotle. I'm like, oh, I forgot to eat. I'll just grab a burrito, and everyone's like, what?
Great. He had no problem.
Hot sauce and everything. I mean, hot sauce affects me more now, but yeah, my stomach's it's impressive.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are like certain things I absolutely will not eat before a race, like the night before or even like the morning of. I can't do it, even if it's something that I'm fine with on a regular basis. Like,
I think I had one thing negatively affect me, and it was like a Kind bar, but I didn't realize it had like spicy nuts in it. It was a weird kind bar, and I was like in the middle of a Tough Mudder, probably one of the earlier ones that I did, and I was like halfway through, I ate it, and it was a hot day on top of everything too, and I felt pretty bad. So
Oh, that's
Gotta
but you can eat hot sauce on a burrito.
Right.
Stadium.
it's just because I knew what I was getting myself into with that kind of sucker punch me out of left field, and it's like
Yeah. Chipotle is my post-race meal.
Yeah.
that's
Like
good.
almost every time, it's Chipotle. And it was
Right.
probably Spartan's fault because, like, 2 years ago when they started handing out those coupon cards after the race, now it's like a thing. Now after a race, nothing tastes better than a Chipotle burrito.
Mhm.
We usually go to Qdoba post race.
Yeah.
Do you guys have those out there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
equally good. Any good like make your own burrito place is perfect.
Mexican's one of those things where like if you're like, oh, I want Mexican, like I can't settle for anything else.
No.
Like that's what I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So true.
Everybody's heading up to the trailhead right now, and everybody's passing by my house, and I'm like feeling super jealous. I've already seen like several people run on by and cycle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a bike, and it was funny because before this week started, I was like, okay, this week, probably on Wednesday or Thursday, I'm gonna go to the bike shop. I'm gonna get it fixed up because I have to like get a new tire and pedals and stuff. And then I'm gonna be biking. And then everything shut down. I was like,
Oh, no.
Oh.
great. Now I don't have a bike.
Biking is one of the things that scares me though, because like we have a huge cycling community, and like it seems like almost every day, well, not now, but every day on the news, somebody's like getting hit by a car or something,
so
you know?
scary.
Like,
Yeah.
If I'm running, I can jump out of the way. If I'm on my bike, I am
Right.
screwed. So
I would
I want a
say-
bike, but I also don't want to get really badly
My
injured.
brother bikes like hardcore, and I'm like,
in
dude,
Boston.
in Boston, like
Oh,
he
God.
works in like the financial district, and he will ride his bike to and from work, and I'm like, people get hit on bikes all the
I
time.
I'm sure
know,
people are
more
nice
power
out,
to
like,
them, but I'm
Rose
just
Health and all
terrified.
that. Yeah.
I say look at your local county laws because that's what I do. If it is legal in the county, I will ride on the sidewalk. I'll be careful of pedestrians. I don't care if they get mad at me, but if it is
Mhm.
legal, I am
Yeah.
riding on the sidewalk because I do not trust California drivers. Not
Yeah,
for 1
even if
second.
there's a bike lane. Yeah, even if there's a bike lane.
Yep. If it's legal, I'm riding on the sidewalk. 'cause
No,
I
because
don't
Boston
trust
takes
drivers at
place,
all.
so, like, I wouldn't trust it.
No.
Now I would, but not like regular time.
There's that video that that really big YouTuber, I can't think of his name right now. But he was like he got a ticket for not riding in the bike lane, so he just only rode in the bike lane, even though there were like all these obstacles, like manholes, cones. He kind of just smashed right in the back of a police car. He's like, "You're in the bike lane." Can't think of who. He's like one of the
really
biggest
funny.
YouTubers. I can't think of his name now. But
That's hilarious. But even whenever they wipe out on the road, and like I can't tell you how many like triathlete friends I have. Oh, like tell me about their latest wipeout on their bike. I'm like, that doesn't sound enjoyable to me.
No. What's
Like,
nice
I
is
get
that
enough.
yeah, I actually live in the area I'm in. I'm in Irvine, and there's a ton of bike paths everywhere, which is nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which I feel so safe on a bike path. But yeah, I've been hit by a car on a bike. It's
Oh
not
my
fun.
gosh.
It was like the least serious version of it though.
Yeah.
Like a car was pulling out of a cross street as I was crossing the intersection. And just
Oh
it's
my
still
God.
scary though.
It's
Yeah,
terrifying.
right?
I don't think I would bike after that.
Yeah.
No.
Minute. I get really cautious. I always make sure I make eye contact anytime I cross the intersection.
yeah.
Even running too. I mean, if I'm running, I'm usually going behind the car. But I
Mhm.
always make sure I make eye contact with the driver first because I get freaked out crossing intersections now.
Yeah. Okay, so like road running, right? You run against traffic, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just
Biking.
making sure.
If it's like a really
Yeah,
tight
biking, you
road,
go.
yeah.
We don't always follow that though.
I mean, if there's sidewalk on one side of the road, we'll go in the sidewalk part. But
Yeah.
But like we usually go with whichever one has like the bigger shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know, is that like what you're supposed to do first?
Doesn't matter. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Like if it's a bigger shoulder, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
the further away you are, the better. I mean, what's the idea that if you're going against traffic, then you can see if something's
Right.
crazy is about to happen?
Right. You can see it, and the driver can hopefully see you.
And you
Well,
can
they should
jump
be able
out
to
of
see
the
you
way.
either way, but
Oh,
Yeah, they should be able to
Bike-
see you either way. But if they're on their cell phone or something, then
But with biking, you go
And-
with traffic because you're going
Yeah.
faster than you would be running. So hopefully you would
Right.
not double the impact.
What's the
Yeah.
bird
Because I feel like half the runners out here like don't follow that.
Well, bike
and
is
like
like
whenever
being
I'm running against
in a
traffic,
car,
like
so.
people are giving me dirty looks or something.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know.
Being on a bike, you're supposed to follow the same laws as the cars do, so that's why you go
Right.
with traffic. But
Right.
running, you want to be able to see what's about to happen to you, not be surprised when you get hit. So, anybody else ever had any issues with vehicles? Like, I've never even had a close call while running. I don't think anybody.
Oh,
have
I've
one?
had a few.
Oh, I've had many.
When I lived in Foxborough, it was significantly worse.
Really?
Yeah. Heather, is that a cat behind you or is that your dog?
It is. That's a
Okay.
cat.
It just
She
looks
is.
active.
Please,
Is
please
Lately,
bring the
she's
cat
Oh,
over.
been,
sorry.
she's been a
She's
huge
a
fan
full
of being in
fan.
the back of my desk chair, and she just chills. Like her
Yeah.
eyes are closed right now. She's totally good. Oh, there
But
she
I've
is.
learned that I'm a pretty aggressive runner. Like I'll be running and you know how like cars don't really stop, they kind of roll. So
Yeah.
I'll just keep running if I'm like really going for time and stuff. And if it keeps going and it's in the crosswalk, I'll kind of hit the front of the car. And then he'll yell at me and I'll stop and I'll
so
start walking
East
towards him.
Coast.
Like,
You're
like, oh, he's
such an aggressive runner.
Oh.
because they think like, oh, like he's running, he's gonna be tired. Like, no, I'll chase your ass. so-
Stop cursing. There's no cursing.
yeah, someone could.
No,
But,
it's live. You can't edit live things, Michael.
Well, if this gets used for a podcast or something, who knows? With
He did.
3 exclamation points.
4 exclamation points. Right?
I posted it in his
You did post.
in the New England. Yeah. No. Yeah.
So while we're all like cooped up in our houses, are you guys like discovering any new hobbies?
I think I just said a bunch while I was muted to the stream.
Oh, I've taken up gaming again a little bit.
Damn, what you playing?
Oh man.
What's your Steam
So
name?
I went-
What's your Blizzard account? What platform are you
Oh,
on?
I do have a Blizzard account actually, but I don't play online yet. Again, I feel like such an old person. I'm like, what are these online games? So the very first game I went to is one I used to play when I was a kid. That's very near and dear to my heart. Diablo 2. Lord
Oh
of
my
the
gosh,
Rings
I was just
takes
playing
me
that
in.
the other day.
That's why you're on Blizzard.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I still haven't broadened my horizons to the online community yet. I'm just dipping my toe back into the gaming pool right now.
I respect
But
that.
I'm greatly enjoying it. It's one thing, like in all this weird state of the world right now, I'm like, Diablo 2.
Yeah.
You're still the same.
Blizzard has a new portion of Call of Duty. Call of Duty's been whatever it is for forever, but now they've got a new.
Yep.
About everybody's trying to do battle royale because Fortnite made $1 billion off of it, and so they have a battle royale, but they've also got another mode that's kind of similar but quite a bit different, and it's actually pretty darn good. So if you want to hop on there, Heather, give me your Blizzard name. We'll play some Call of Duty.
I have
We
a
get some-
backlog of video games with at least 50, 60 games. So I've been trying to go through that.
You're also like a video game hoarder.
Crazy. It's for a collector. But I have hundreds of games, just about every console you can think of, and I'm going through like the Uncharted series on the PlayStation, and finally got to like the PlayStation 4 where I have like 30 games that I'm excited to play.
So my problem is that I will get a game and basically play it just to like learn the system and figure out how it plays, and then I'll get bored once I figure that out. Mike will buy the games to have them to play, but he's actually playing them, so he doesn't ever get to most of them.
My biggest problem is like
Mhm.
the OCD. Like I play them to beat them. Even if I hate the game, I need to beat it, and then I can go to the next. It's bad.
It's so
I've
bad.
played some bad games.
That's really funny, but you play it through.
yeah. I'm like I gotta finish
He
it.
has like spreadsheets on top of spreadsheets. It's his serial killer trait. Everybody has one.
Like I'm going through like old Game Boy and Game Boy Advance
Oh,
games. Like,
Yes. let's see. I have an N64, an Xbox 360, an Xbox One. I do have my Game Boy Color.
Wow,
still.
you are a gamer.
Yeah, dude, I was like in my youth, in like my teenage years and early 20s. I played a lot of video games, mostly console. Yeah, I was like a young kid when Xbox came out. I was in like elementary school, I think. But
Hey,
Jack,
so
but yeah, I played a lot. Jack, Jack, were you born when Xbox came out?
Xbox?
Yeah.
I was born when the 360 came out.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait. Is that... No.
So I think,
Jack-
I'm pretty sure I was in elementary school when it came
Jack
out.
was a little kid when the PS5 came out.
I was born in 96.
So Jack, how are things going down in Florida with COVID-19?
We just have a curfew from 11 to 5.
Y'all have a curfew?
Wait, Jack, how old are you?
No, like the Orange County has a curfew.
No.
Jack's curfew is at 11 o'clock.
2001.
2001. Okay.
Okay, I was 5. I was born in 96.
Okay.
I was in junior
Yeah.
high, I think.
I was born in 93.
Yeah, I was in junior high. Okay.
Wow.
I played a lot of Halo.
Yeah, I played Halo on Xbox 360.
That was fun.
We were
Yeah.
talking about how coronavirus is kind of sweeping through the industry, and I'm sure it's affecting your photography business as well, right?
Yeah, so pretty much everything is closed here, like Disney and Universal, and then Orange County has a curfew. All bars are closed. Restaurant dine-ins are closed. It's pretty boring.
Yeah.
Wait, do you live in a county called Orange County in Florida?
Yeah, that's where Disney started.
That's so funny. I live in Orange County, California. Hey.
Hey. So yeah, everything is pretty much closed. There's nothing to do. Beaches are still open, which is very controversial right now.
Heather, you live in the OC.
So,
I live in LC. I live just south of Anaheim.
Oh, we don't call it that.
ooh.
No
Jack,
Arrested
don't
Development fans in here?
Wait.
I
Yeah. I just started rewatching it. I forgot that this takes place in Orange
Every
County.
time somebody says the OC, they said, we don't call it that.
Oh, that's right. I love that show so much. Jack,
Jack almost got
What's
stop
up?
spreading illness. Stay home.
No, I'm so bored.
What are you doing for hobbies? Video games? Anything?
Napping.
I literally just bought an Xbox like 2 days ago.
Jack, my friend shared this thing, and I was gonna send it to you because it was really funny.
Wait, which Xbox though?
The one,
Okay, that makes more sense.
still
Okay.
downloading everything. It takes forever.
Yes.
So I got 0 hobby suggestions. Everybody plays video games.
Caitlin took up. Well, maybe we're on to something. I've been trying to play video games. I need a video game friend.
Well,
Yeah.
Caitlin, do you like to read? I'm also a huge reader. It's like, oh my god, now there's time to actually read a book.
She says that.
I do like to read, but being back in grad school, I just like don't read for fun.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
textbook
God.
reading and like fake reading. I've learned that you just kind of like skim the pages.
She's trying to take up calligraphy though, so that's gonna be her hobby. So she,
Nice.
Oh, that's super cool.
You could actually make money with that too.
That's what
That's what
I
I told her.
good.
Yeah.
How do you wanna
I'm
do?
trying to whore her off because she's like, she's saying how like, I don't know, you want to work from. I just
So I like
nice
buy things on
income.
Etsy and then like they'll come and Mike's like, you could have done that yourself. I'm
Yeah.
like, but my handwriting isn't that nice. And he's like, everybody else thinks you have really nice handwriting. Like you're the only one that hates it.
Yeah,
So maybe.
like I bet the people that make it think that they don't have the best handwriting too. But if people buy it, then you
It's
know,
true.
it's the
And
imposter
if you do
syndrome,
really good calligraphy, like there's a lot you can do with that.
That's what
right?
I've heard. And then I also bought a 1,000-piece puzzle. Like,
Yes.
grandmother.
Puzzles are the
There's a lot of
best.
puzzles going on
I
lately,
used to
right?
puzzle all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still save. So I have in my closet this. In the 90s, there were these like puzzles for kids that were the covers. They were pictures of the covers of like Disney movies.
Ooh.
So like Jungle Book or Aladdin. Kim knows what I'm talking about. I still have the Snow White one because I couldn't get rid of it. I was like, I have to keep at least one because I used to do those puzzles all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still have one and I could do that puzzle. I have like 3 puzzles. Puzzles are the best.
Puzzles are fun. I was like, it needs to be like multicolored. Like I was gonna do like a beach scene or like sunflowers. I'm like, that's gonna be way too hard. So I'll have to give you guys updates.
Yes, please do. Please live stream yourself doing the puzzle.
Mike always talks about how he thinks it'd be fun to like live stream me playing video games.
Yeah, I mean, there's money in that too. And Caitlin's so like, I don't know, we our banter and just like you being
I get
not very good.
so
at it.
frustrated.
Yeah, I think it'd be great. Yeah.
That would be really good.
Yep.
I agree.
Where'd Jason go?
Oh,
Get another Angry
Yeah.
Orchard.
Right.
Ooh.
I haven't drank at all, but being in the group text with y'all, the
Y'all.
things that were in like that mark makes me want to drink. Not in like a I don't like him way. It's that like just watching him. He leads by example.
Instead, we should have gone to the liquor store before they closed down.
I have enough. I don't drink much,
We
so
could
I
have
have
gotten
enough
that
to last
Mike
for a while.
Pastries beer.
Oh yeah.
So Massachusetts is like doing this weird thing where like bakeries are getting together with like local breweries and like making bakery beers.
So Mike's Pastry is like the place to get
Yes.
down in the North End. Like it's some
in Boston.
yeah, it's some good stuff. And so they made a porter or a stout, and I
Cannoli beer.
I
Oh,
can't
yeah. I
yeah.
don't do either of those, but
I like cannolis. Gonna buy it for at least a can.
yeah, it's nice. One thing that's keeping all the breweries in business right now is like all of the breweries that have tasting rooms. They're all open for like you can go in and buy cans and you can fill growlers and stuff.
Well, that's
That's good.
awesome.
A lot of people are doing that, which is good.
And I
Yeah.
read at
Also
restaurants.
making hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Where you are, can you get booze delivered?
No.
Not in my county yet. Kim, in your county? LA County just approved it.
I know that California was one that it was hit and miss, and I don't think I can in my county, but I've never tried.
Yeah,
I just go pick it up.
Yeah, we can't yet, but it's a hugely good thing because so many bartenders are out of business right now.
Right?
And
Yeah.
so
Well, does that
Still
when you can, does that hurt bars business in general?
wait, what
When you-
does?
When you can get liquor and booze delivered.
Oh,
Yeah, so like
I
here we
mean-
can
It
we can
would.
get it delivered, and it actually just happened pretty recently.
I don't think like in
you
normal
can see.
circumstances it would because
Yeah.
the whole half the reason people because you can arguably go to a grocery store and get all the liquor and beer you want.
Yeah.
The reason people go to bars
Not in New
is
Jersey.
to be
Socialize.
social on some level. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
No, you can't. You can go to a liquor store and buy alcohol. You can't get alcohol in a grocery
New
store.
Jersey's weird.
Oh,
Yeah, we can buy beer in our
Yeah.
grocery stores here, but not liquor or wine. So they always have like liquor and wine stores right outside the grocery store.
That's the
That's
some
how
of
New
the
Jersey
alcohol
does it.
laws are just the most
Liquor stores
craziest
have
stuff.
liquor stores.
Yeah, it's like super weird. So we can buy all the craft beer we want in the grocery stores, but to buy like just like a bottle of wine, we have to go to a separate store.
It blew her mind when we went to Vegas and you could buy booze in a CVS. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Wait till you
Oh, that's
visit New Orleans and visit Louisiana. You can get daiquiris to the drive-through.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah! Oh my God! When I lived
What?
in Florida, there was a drive-through liquor store. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, yeah. Somebody on my newsfeed, they posted a picture of like one of the daiquiri stores that I used to live by, and there was like a line going around the building.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
my
probably making a
God.
killing.
That's
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think one of the ways they got around it was for a while they were putting like masking tape over the little straw holes because technically it's not like open containers.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Or you leave the top half of the straw wrapper on there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I remember when my mom came to visit me whenever I first moved there. She was like, "Let's go to one of those drive-throughs and let's order some daiquiris." And she ordered through the drive-through like a whole gallon, a gallon.
Jesus.
God, a gallon of daiquiris.
People.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, you realize like I can't drink all of them.
God, that's so much sugar, though.
Oh, I know. Oh my
God.
gosh. Yeah. Yeah, she definitely regretted it like the next day. We were throwing it out. Like
Once I hit like my mid-20s, I could. Or actually, no. Once I started like OCR and started getting more fit, I could not get to those sugar drinks anymore.
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
look at like the daiquiri machines when I see them. I'm just like sugar. They're good though. They're tasty. I can only get a couple sips in, and then I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so sick.
Can I ask Jack some technical? Anna, your image keeps being weird. Stop it. Okay, there it goes.
I'm not doing
Yeah.
Jack, can I ask you some technical questions about your photography?
Sure.
What camera do you use?
I use the Canon 1DX.
1DX. That is a full frame
Hey, can
camera, correct?
Yeah. Full
can I
frame.
jump in with a technical question? How does that compare to the 5D?
Is that?
Well, 5D is more for portraits, or the 1DX is more for sports.
Oh, why so?
Well, the 1DX frame rate is much faster, so it's 12 frames a second, whereas the 5D is like 6 or 7. And then the pixels are a little bit less on the 1DX. It's like 20 megapixels, where the 5D is like 25.
Heather, is the
I've got the
5D what you have?
yeah, I have the 5D Mark IV and
I
the Mark
have-
III and the Mark II.
I have 2 1DXs and a 5D SR.
Both of my cameras are Rebels. Does that make you laugh at me?
Yeah,
Hey, that's a decent like.
that's the camera I
I've
started
never
with.
used it for a
Yeah.
career, so
There you go. Like it's a decent, like it's a good, just everyday camera to get really good pictures.
now I have made
Oh,
money
yeah.
with them. I've done paid jobs, but not many. Like maybe 4.
Yeah,
Questions, the camera, dude.
yeah, that's okay.
Wait a
I also have a fancy camera.
Oh, what do you got there, Caitlin?
It's a Canon EOS Rebel T2i. It was a hand-me-down,
Nice.
For my grandfather.
and I used it one time in Hawaii.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, as long as you're taking good photos, doesn't I mean like yeah, a good quality camera will make incredible photos, but it's so funny. Like Jack, maybe you can relate to this. It always is like it always is like a little pet peeve when someone sees a picture and goes, "Wow, that camera takes great pictures." It's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
I take good pictures with a good camera. Like
yeah.
you can have a lower end camera and still have an amazing photo. It's all about who's taking the picture and how you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see it.
I used to hear that all the time. Like, oh my gosh, I need a camera like that.
Yeah. Wow, your camera takes such good photos. It's a good quality camera, but there's a shooting it.
I don't even
Oh
know
yeah.
the picture.
Oh.
Jack, I heard from somebody your pictures aren't that good anyway. Like
Yeah.
you put shadows on
That's the
people's
rumor.
faces and stuff.
Oh,
That's why you do that.
I don't know. Just
Yeah, those.
I wanted to put more sunlight on their face, but it's hard when there's obstacles in the way.
Why can't you control the sunlight, Jack?
I don't
You
know.
can just tell them to stop running so you can take a better picture.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to do that next
What are
time.
we looking at, Mike?
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
it's a sunset
Oh.
over
Nice.
Maui.
It's just
Maui?
kind of blue.
Oh,
When did y'all go to
right?
Maui?
Maui.
Yeah.
Never been to
Like
Maui.
4 years ago, the last time we used this camera. I'm going next year.
Yeah, Mike's going back to Hawaii.
Well, I was gonna go to London for the
God.
Tough Butter, but
Oh, right.
Jack and Heather,
Yeah.
obviously I'm not a professional photographer on your levels, but I have 3 rules that I always tell people that I'm just giving tips to. One, thirds, using the thirds of the frame. Fill the frame. Obviously, that's a big one. And what's the other one? I forget what the other one is. But do you have any quick go-to tips for people who take pictures that people, typical mistakes that people make that you usually give us a quick tip?
I just have the one There are no rules.
True.
Jack, what a rebel. That doesn't use a rebel.
Everything. I don't know. You can set the rules, but you also gotta know when to break them. So
Yeah, but like that's the thing. You can. It's a weird. I know exactly what Jack's saying. You become a good photographer when you learn the rules first, and then you know how to break them. It
Yeah.
sounds super weird, but if you break them in the right way, then it turns out pretty cool. My biggest thing is like people need to learn, or if they really are passionate about photography, learning how to crop is a really good thing. Like how to crop your photo. A lot of people are guilty of way too close cropping because they think they're doing like zoom in shot and just learn space.
Well, also
Learn
that you can always
spacing.
edit it after the fact too.
Yeah.
And another thing is always being eye level. Pretty important.
Yes.
I can always tell the amateurs from the pros by being, when they take pictures of their kids, for example.
Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest
It's
one
like this
because
angle
the
down.
kids aren't the same height as them. But obviously, if you're tall people too. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Children.
women, when you take pictures of women, you can be slightly above eye level.
Slightly.
Yeah.
So, yes, with a standard camera. It was funny though. I was at some OCR event and I asked Carlo to take a photo of me with my phone. And I was like, hey, can you do me a favor? I turn into a photographer. I feel kind of bad. And I was like, when you're taking photos with a phone camera, most of those are wide angle lenses. And so most people they'll hold their phone up here and then they'll take a picture. It's like, no, lower your phone to about chest level and make it straight on. Because a lot of times when you're shooting up here, everyone looks stunted. Because with the wide angle shooting from above, everyone's kind of stunted and your legs look weird and the proportions are off. So if you're shooting with an iPhone or a phone camera, just keep it at like normal height at eye level I keep it like right underneath my chin when I shoot, and the proportions are normal. Like it's not as warped. Like that's the biggest tip I always put out for like shooting on a phone. Anyway.
That's good. It's good stuff.
That's the thing I'm very passionate about.
Usually when people ask me to take pictures on their phone, I don't even try. So
Jack just holds it and just looks
Can't
away
help.
yeah,
and snaps.
I mean honestly, it's pretty annoying.
I'm not gonna be responsible for how this comes out.
It's so funny because like I'll when I do get a phone, and like if somebody asks me to take a picture for them, I do turn into a photographer, but I'll never like speak up and be like, yeah, sure, I'll take it for you. I'm always kind of quiet, but then usually it's my friends who are like, hey, here's the photographer.
Yeah. And then they're like, can you get the angles? I'm like, nope. Should have asked someone else. Yeah.
All right, let's take it to a different set of skills. Kim, you are the OCR Reports social media person. There's a lot
I do.
to that.
Yeah.
I guess what are you? I mean, everybody's. Lots of people are trying to be masters of social media because of that's kind of their brand. Like as a person, people have their brand. Racers do. People who run put on the races, they have their own personality, and everybody's got their own whatever online. But you're doing it for a company. In essence,
Yeah.
I mean, the OCR Report is a legit company in a way. So, what are some tips that you do? What's I know little about this, less than photography, because of what my wife does for the business that we work with. So, you got any tips, or what do you do to kind of make that good?
So far I've been learning it depends on the demographic or the type of people that are following those accounts, because the way that I approach, say, the social media on World's Toughest Podcast Instagram to the OCR Report Instagram are completely different, because people in the World's Toughest Podcast, or basically the Tough Mudder community in general, are a little bit more interactive, and they like call to actions and to be able to respond to posts and they will tag us more. And then it's a lot different when you do a call to action or post something for interaction with people on the OCR report. You won't get anything. So you kind of have to find what people like to respond to. And we are benefited a lot by Jack's photos. I mean, like, they're awesome. So if we just continuously are putting out those photos, that gets the most interaction, because people will say it's elite athletes, but also they'll see themselves if it's a different wave or something, and they'll tag their friends, and that will boost our followers because they're tagging each other. So also when we post, I'm starting to post if it's an athlete with a certain sponsor, I'm trying to also tag those sponsors, because then they see it and share it. And so it's kind of like learning as you go. But as long as you're consistent, find out what time of day your posts will get the most views, because the weird changing algorithms, and then make sure you're hashtagging. It makes a big difference.
Nice. You mentioned Jack, so I got to bring it back to Jack.
Oh, so
Jack, have you? I feel like I've asked you this the other day, but have you ever run an obstacle course race?
I have run 1.5, so kind of two.
What is that?
The one
When you say 1.5, that could
one-
mean a full Tough Mudder and a half Tough, like the actual half when they had that.
I did a local one in Florida called Mud Endeavor Under the Lights. So you run at night. It's like a 5K obstacle race. So it was really fun. And then the half, I was taking pictures. I used to do like personal photography at events. So a group of friends hired me to follow them around the course. And I ended up doing most of the obstacles just for funsies.
Nice.
So just like 1.5, I would say. I want to do more, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, you're usually taking pictures. So do you, like when you go to a race, are you like, man, that would be fun to run later, or do you just not care?
I'm just not care. Like I want to do it, but eventually I want to do it like when I shoot toughest. I want to run it during the day, like before. I think that'd be pretty fun
That's a good idea.
to kind of get the layout of the course.
That's a good call.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent idea. So you're doing it for fun as well as putting it towards what you're going to do later.
Yeah. So if toughest ever happens this year, that's the plan.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Chicago.
Yeah. Chicago for sure.
Shoot, yeah, if Chicago happens,
there.
everybody in the world is going to be there.
Oh yeah.
Buy your tickets now before it sells out.
If they get- Hopefully.
You don't think they'd like open it up to more people, considering they have one?
Well, is
I
there a
don't know.
limit? Anybody know if there is a limit and what it is?
There must be a limit. Every event has some sort of
Probably.
limit. I just don't know what it
Any
is.
idea what it might
Mhm.
possibly like a normal tough world's toughest or toughest is what 12 to 1,500 people. Like what's the upper, I guess, limit that we've seen so far at a world's toughest or a toughest? Anybody know?
I feel like the biggest
always-
one, toughest
So
would
it's
have been
low, so.
Yeah.
in Atlanta. It's always been very, very low for attendance,
Yeah.
but the last one in Vegas got a big, a lot of people
We've
coming.
seen, what, close to 1,500, right, Kim? Yeah.
Yeah, in Vegas, they did get about there, I think, for the last Vegas.
The last
Yeah.
Vegas worlds or toughest?
World's
Yeah.
toughest. No, I don't know. Has a toughest ever topped more than 500 participants? 400? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
So toughest have always been way less than worlds. Is that kind of what we're seeing?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
But that's also been when there's been more than one toughest event.
That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I wonder if they're gonna if they get enough people interested in signing up, if they'll expand the event a little bit, considering all of the other ones that have been canceled.
Yeah.
But smart thing is, as long as the venue permits it, I'm sure if the venue has like a limit of how many people. I don't know.
And I feel like Chicago is a good location too, because it's like that middle region.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised. I mean, the Tough Mudder community is going to be a little split because they rescheduled Midlands for
Mhm.
the same weekend as Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm just
I
like,
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I there's probably, this is the only date the venue could do it, and blah blah blah. But it's just like, man, that's crappy luck to have the only two toughest at the exact same weekend. So they're splitting the
Oh, yeah.
community in half, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's kind of clever.
Yeah, should have done it in different weekends so people could do both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think Mike and I are gonna head out. I have to go to the grocery store.
Oh, God bless you.
I know.
Good luck.
I've been
Godspeed.
dreading it, and I'm like, I feel like now is a good time to go.
But I
At
don't think
midday instead of like when they first open our first.
I
booth.
almost want to go with you just to see the
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
it's
go.
fun.
Just
It's
see the
fun,
chaos.
Mike. Go check it out and see. Like, what I like is noticing what people don't take, like what's left.
Yeah, they don't take soap. They only get hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
You guys know what soap, like if you're in your home, use soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard like everyone's buying hand sanitizer, no one's buying soap.
Yeah, but isn't it a team effort? Everyone needs to buy hand sanitizer.
Right?
Or just get
I'll be honest, going to the store, because I didn't grow up in like, I don't know, Tornado Alley or Hurricane Place. Like, I'm not used to seeing stores like that.
Mm.
So going to the store lately has given me like bad anxiety because I'm like, why is everything out? This isn't normal. This is scary.
I feel like that's how I feel right now, and I just need to like rip the band-aid off and
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who was talking about making hand sanitizer out of vodka? Oh, it was some.
They did that in Jersey.
Will put that on his podcast. David Spade was talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The 7-Eleven that I used to go to growing up was the 7-Eleven that made their like homemade hand sanitizer where people were getting like chemical burns. Not a good fame to claim, but claim to fame.
Well, you don't want to claim that fame either, so.
Nope.
I don't want anything to do with that. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the grocery store. Mike, you're coming with me?
I might.
Yeah, Mike, you should
Well,
go.
thank y'all for hanging out with us for shoot. It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
I'm gonna take this dog for a walk.
Plan to do an interview with. Did you already say Sam Hopper?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Mutter Minds, but that's been pushed to tomorrow. So.
If you guys have any questions for him, let us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got a wicked thick accent. I'm excited.
Nice shirt you got there, Mike.
Me too. Your accent's wicked awesome.
I would not say that.
Oh, I'll be saying. I'll sneak some
No.
wickeds in there.
No.
Mike, I just noticed your shirt.
Wow.
Well, yeah.
You
Is
just
that
noticed it?
backwards?
It's not on backwards. I got my belt buckle from helping out. Oop, well, it's
You
gonna
gotta
be.
focus on it.
Not gonna
Your
be
camera
Yeah.
will
There
not
it goes.
focus on
Oh,
things.
for a
There you
second.
go.
Oh.
There you go.
Turn your blur off for a second.
Ah!
curved.
Turn the blur off for a moment.
There you
Oh
go.
yeah.
Guys, Jason's freeze on that belt buckle.
Oh, he is. That's why he wants
Yep.
to see it.
Yeah.
Other side.
Not helpful.
Mm.
No.
There.
No, the other side.
There's
There it
Jason.
is.
I don't understand the icicles, but the rest of it's cool.
Evan also got me a Yeti cup.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, he won't drink out of.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And we got another Yeti cup from Mappy Davis's like ORM like gift swap thing.
Oh,
Yankee
the
Yankee swap. I have two
Christmas
Yetis.
party.
It's fun.
Nice.
Yeah, they just get too hot though. So.
It gets too hot.
Yeah, like I can't drink tea when it's scalding, and you put it in there and it just
Stays
Oh, and
hot.
it stays hot.
It
Stays hot.
It's good. That's what it's supposed to do. But damn, it's
Dang, stop cursing. No, you're not showing off all your
we
trophies.
should do a show and tell episode. 'Cause
No, nobody
I
wants to
just
see.
found
It-
the spots
We'll tell y'all's
online.
next Patreon video.
If we're still on when you come back.
Perfect. Bye, guys. It was nice seeing you
Bye.
all.
Bye.
Bye.
Anybody else that needs to leave, now's a good time. Run for mileage for Kim. Run for Kim. Tomorrow is the run for Kim. Hang on. I messed up Anna's video. Is everybody... Heather's hopping, Kim's hopping off, Jack's hopping off. I guess we can call it there. Hang on, let me fix Anna's before we say goodbye. I messed it up. I was trying to fix it, and... Yeah. Anna's video's having problems. Give me just a moment. We can all say goodbye. It's fun. It is awesome that we have such utilities to us to be able to do stuff like this. Like, we're doing it for you know, for these podcasts and whatnot that we do. But think about all the people that are doing it because they're just seeing people that they love. I mean, we do love you guys, but we have other people that in our lives that we spend time with too. So it's kind of hard to balance it all. But we've got you know, this particularly for you guys, but this technology that the whole world is able to keep together and, you know, still see each other and do stuff like have big long calls. Why is Mike calling me right now? That's weird. You just hopped off. You had more to say. You could have. No. Oh, I see. Okay, hang on. Let me fix that before we say goodbye. It's because they hopped out and I was showing their audio. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like these. I'm always
There we
grateful
go.
for modern technology. I'm
That's
like,
fixed.
thank
Yeah.
goodness.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for letting me know. That's all right. I was the
Yeah,
only one
like-
talking at that point anyway, right?
My
Yeah.
girlfriends from back home and I were planning a virtual happy hour.
Oh,
awesome.
That sounds fun.
But that's what I'm saying.
That
Like,
is
how
a pretty
awesome is
good
that,
idea.
that we can do that kind
Yeah,
of
that
stuff?
is pretty awesome.
If anybody hasn't
Yeah,
seen
like right
it,
before this, I was FaceTiming with my mom and my sister, and my mom had just woken up too. She had her
Yeah.
like wake up hair.
there's a Chrome add-in, I think, maybe, that is, or maybe it's just a website that is like a Netflix party chat room. I don't know. Like, you throw
Oh,
up Netflix
yeah.
and
Oh,
there's
I
a
saw
chat
that.
panel.
Where you could like Netflix with your friends.
Yeah, so everybody else
Yeah.
can log in and watch the same thing at the same time and have audio type chat, not voice
Yeah.
chat.
That's pretty cool.
Anyways, you guys are awesome. Thank y'all for
You guys
Yeah.
are awesome.
Hopping
It was
in.
really nice talking to y'all.
Yeah.
we may end up doing this more because we're all sitting at home.
Yeah, we should.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm hopping off. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay,
All right. See ya.
I'm gonna close it out
Bye.
with the end screen. You guys are great.
Bye, guys.
See y'all.
Bye, Cam.
Bye.